Hello, everybody. It's Loic Bruni. Welcome to a special episode of Outspoken. Tough times. We were supposed to film it in Lusa a few weeks ago, but then situation in the world got us a bit locked up, let's say, and we are here in front of the computer. The guest today is Danny Hart. Hello, Danny.
How you doing, Loic? Hope you're abiding by the rules, staying at home,
Yeah,
just doing
yeah,
what you
yeah, yeah.
can to try and pass time.
No. It's been a little bit longer in France than in UK, so it's getting hard at the moment, but trying to hold on and stay at home.
Yeah, I
It's
think we
important.
got an extra week on you guys, like being allowed to. I guess we're
Yeah.
still allowed to go out and do things, but
Can
only
you still actually ride or not?
we can ride. Like I can ride from my house on my road bike, or on from my house on my mountain bike to the trails, but we aren't allowed to like drive to the trailhead and
Yeah.
ride like that. But I'm pretty much just trying to stay at home and do everything from home just to
Yeah.
minimize any risk, because apparently this week here is like a really dangerous time where people were potentially coming out of isolation if they've been in isolation for 2 weeks. From when it
Yeah.
started, this week is leading into the time where they'll be coming out again. So everybody's maybe a little bit more on edge this week.
And you have a baby now, so you need to be careful, right?
I do, yeah. So this time is a bit rubbish, like for racing wise. Like we aren't going racing and we aren't riding, but for me, it's good to spend some time at home with Sadie and
Yeah.
Sophia, and it's really nice to see her grow a little bit because the chances are I was going to be away quite a little bit at the start of her life. So yeah, that's been a bonus. But the weather's really
That's
nice
great.
outside, and we aren't allowed to go and ride our downhill bikes, and it really sucks. But
That's crazy. So I don't know if most people know, but this winter you've got married in
hmm
October, I think, and then you've got a baby a few weeks ago,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then like your life has changed a lot. Can you tell us a little bit how it feels to be a dad and stuff?
yeah. It's all gone on in the past couple of months. Well, past 6 months, I guess. Obviously, we're getting married in November, and then Sophia was pregnant at the time as well, so that was quite an ordeal. But the
Yeah.
wedding was amazing. We had a great day. Sophia looked beautiful, um, and then yeah, and then she gave birth to Sadie on the 18th of February. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind, to be fair. And yeah, and just sitting here now, I guess I'm reflecting on it, and yeah, it's quite an amazing. I've never really been a kiddie sort of person. Sounds wrong, but like to have
Oh,
your
good.
own kid there, like it's it's an indescribable feeling, to be honest, and it's it's definitely changed my life. And right now,
Yeah.
being able to spend some time with her is good, and but I just hope everything does get back to normal quite soon.
Yeah. Because with the life we have, I don't know about you, but living kind of season to season, I don't feel that the years so much because
Yeah,
you're what? Now you're 28, I think.
yeah, it's crazy. I'm 28
And
now,
then,
and
yeah, could you see yourself when you were 20 or like
yeah,
starting the season?
what's
Now you
funny
have
is
15.
like from racing junior to now, I don't feel any different because like I guess the sport keeps us young, and yeah, no, I never imagined even having my own house or being um having to deal with all this major life stuff, and it's it's all gone really well. It's I
Yeah.
couldn't have expected it to go any better. So apart from like it wasn't easy to get to where we did with having Sadie. Sophia we struggled for quite a long time to try and conceive, if you like, and but now we've got Sadie, and it's just like a little miracle, if you like.
Yeah, a bit. And so let's change a little bit subjects. I don't know about you, but I don't feel any motivation at the moment because it's hard to see the end of the tunnel. We don't know when it's going to be the next race and stuff. And what's your fitness plan? What do you train and are you frustrated? What's your feeling on that, on training?
To be fair, like when I saw that the first race was cancelled and everybody said, "Oh, really gutted, absolutely gutted," couldn't wait for this race, and I was like, I don't have that feeling like all the time. Like I know racing is what we do, and we all do deep down love it, but there's always that anxiety of whether you're ready or whether, like, just the nervous energy around a race. It's like quite intense, and when they're cancelled, I was like, oh well, we don't have to deal with that weekend anymore. Like, just chill for a little bit longer.
I had the same feeling actually.
And then as time's gone by, and everybody's putting all these videos on, like of them riding when they were riding, and then the weather's been really nice, and I'm just missing riding my downhill bike. It's really sucks that we can't ride. But when it comes to the training and that sort of side, like the past few months have been quite a whirlwind for me, and it's been probably a little bit more difficult to really knuckle down and I guess be 110% into my training, whereas now, like, I'm not really allowed to leave the house. If I do leave the house, it's to exercise. When I'm in the house, I'm either resting or training in the little setup that I've got going. So I guess I'm motivated to train in that aspect, and that's quite good for me because, like I said, I've had a busy couple of months with Sadie, with getting married and just before Christmas and everything. So I'm really like enjoying the training around the house, like with what I've got. But I would like to.
Do you follow my spinning class to stay fit or what?
I just follow your spin. I did have a quick look. You beat everybody to it. Like all our team members.
Give it a try, man.
What can we do? What can we do? We need to try and get everybody involved. And you did a good job.
It's good because it also keeps me pumped about some stuff because I don't have my girlfriend with me. You're lucky you have your family and your wife. I don't have my bike. I cannot ride. So I need stuff to pump me up some days, and it's actually cool. So next Friday, I hope you watch it. You do it.
Is that what you're doing every Friday? So is that an actual training session that you do, or is that for the fans?
It's more for the fans, but I quite do it committed. So I try to make it count for me too. But because I try to speak all the time, I'm just dying because I don't recover and stuff. I'm like, by the time I'm done, I'm just so tired. I'm cooked. But it's cool.
It's good that you're doing it because, like, imagine the people that are like, I guess we aren't on lockdown here, but I'm fortunate enough to have a nice house with whatever I sort of need. I don't need to leave the house. Whereas there's people that can be sat in a one-bedroom flat or a bedsit or with absolutely nothing to do, and I think for them people, it's going to be really difficult. You have to
and I feel like
mentally, it's going to be brutal.
And we still have social media, so it's kind of a part of our job. So we need a little bit also to do it because it's the only part of the job we can do.
Imagine what happened if the world said no internet.
Yeah, that would be fucked though. That would be unreal.
I can just turn it off.
We can just do meditation after that, but it's not so fun. But you know that I don't know about you, but some of my sponsors already announced a cut of 25% in the salary.
Yeah, it's looking like it could go that way, and then I don't really know how to approach this one.
There's no way to approach it. It's just like kind of the whole world economy is stopping, so you have financial.
Yeah, like we get paid to be out there racing, providing content with all our brands and everything like that, but we can't do that. So yeah, it's difficult. At the moment, I'm just dropped down by one sponsor said, look, I'm going to have to move your payment onto next year because our sales have gone right down and we aren't selling anything, and they have overheads, and And yeah, it's an impossible time for smaller brands and
Yeah,
the bigger brands. Obviously, like here we
I
can
know.
still cycle, but it's not like it was before we were on lockdown. Although there is, when you go for a ride right now, like if I went for a road ride, the amount of people out running, cycling, just generally exercising is amazing. And
Yeah,
hopefully at the end of this, they don't stop and they can keep doing it and we'll have a healthier society potentially.
yeah. And how do you see the mountain bike racing and the industry after that, after this big crisis, kind of?
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I don't know when we'll go racing again. Like deep down, like I have no idea. But the industry is it's gonna it's standing still for a while now. So
So we talked a bit in winter, but let's come back on Snowshoe,
yeah,
on that crazy finale last year in the US.
yeah,
What's
that
your
was.
feeling about Snowshoe? Like, what do you remember from it?
Yeah, Snowshoe was a funny one. I remember like we landed in I think we landed in Washington and we had a 4 hour drive to this place, which was we were driving and our phone went out of signal and then just thinking, where the hell are we going here? This is like where have the UCI brought us into the back end of nowhere? And then we just arrived, it was really late at night and we get to just a resort and I was like, oh, this is actually quite nice. This is pretty cool. And then we did a track walk and I was like, oh, this this looks questionable. There's some really big jumps and I was like I was really quite nervous to hit these big jumps and I'm like when we go
Really?
to World Cups, we aren't really, well, speaking for myself, we're not really nervous for many of the jumps. Well, if any of them, it's not really any anymore. Like when I was a kid and I'd go to places and I'd be like, oh man, there's that rock garden, or there's that big step down and I've got to jump it. We don't
But
get that feeling anymore because we've gotten past that sort of thing. But
I remember people telling that you were the one jumping things first, though.
yeah,
Like a long.
that was my way of figuring it out. The first run, I just jumped everything apart from one thing, just to get it done, and then I could just relax. And I think I just eased into the track, and I really enjoyed riding it by the end. And yeah, it
And
was
because
like, sorry,
because from my point of view, I just feel like there was the duel with Amory, and your race was the decider, and then we almost forgot that I almost, because I had my mind did that your run was unreal, and then you did that section in the rocks at the bottom faster, way faster than anyone else, and that you won your first race of the year, and then it was crazy for you, and then it was just mixed with all the World Cup overall thing, but and yeah,
yeah. When I think about like my run on the day, it was like faultless. Really, I didn't have any mistakes or anything. But like where I made the time through practice, I consciously thought, like from where we came around, and it was quite a straight line all the way until that horrible right-hander. You
yeah.
could practically like just leave the brakes the whole section, and that's what I did, I guess, and that's how I made the time. And yeah,
Do
because I'm
you know that if
sure.
you didn't do that on that section, you would have probably ended up second or third, and I would
Yeah,
probably hate you by
ruined
now.
your day. I said to Sophia, there must have been a few plus there's been replays online, hasn't there? I genuinely think Loic would have had a dislike for me if I'd have gone in between them.
Yeah, even though it would be a bad reason to not like you because it's racing, it would be
I
your fault, kind
understand.
of, kind of
Yeah, yeah.
also why I won. But if I
Well,
was better, I would not have needed you to win or to be
no.
second. I should
What,
have done better. You know.
what's strange is when you're at the start in Snowshoe, I think you went before me. I think you've probably finished before I've even started. But I have no idea of what's going on. It's crazy. Like everybody's saying, "Oh, what an insane race it was! How amazing it was for you to be the deciding factor in the overall of the full season's racing." It's like, yeah, but at that time, I have no idea. I'm just doing what I have to do. I think I maybe
Yeah.
had an idea of what time Amarie had done. I think you probably did. You know or not?
No, I didn't.
You had
I
no
didn't want to.
idea. I know I didn't want to. I never want to, but sometimes in the whirlwind and people talking, you do hear sometimes, but you never
Yeah.
knew.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I
that's
really
good.
tried not to because I wanted to be on my own, you know?
Yeah. Um, yeah, the emotion at the bottom when I watch it back for you, you're leaving your goggles on and you have the evil eyes watching, and you must have thought, oh, it's all over, and then
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah, it was
figured it
crazy.
out
It
for
was
you.
super crazy. But it's I think we will remember that race for a while.
And it's going to be quicker. How
In Champery, it was like a breakthrough run. Actually, like you did. It was your first victory. It was like me. You didn't win a World Cup before that, and then another time in 2016, you had a really good World Cup season because you won races and stuff, and then you won the Worlds again. So seems like Worlds for you too is a bit something special. Like you'll excel at Worlds.
Yeah, like I said, I can treat a World Championships really quite relaxed, and the times that I have won it were on like
Yeah.
proper tracks, like Champery. Maybe wasn't Champery of 2007, but it was a pretty real track in them conditions, and yeah, I just didn't let it phase me. And then Val di Sole,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just like, without sounding like arrogant or without sounding like a dick, that both of those races came quite easy to me. I could have done. I feel like I could have done the Champery run again as well, and I could have done the Val di Sole run. There was nothing mental about them, and yeah, it's strange
Okay, man.
how. I don't know. What do you think about that? Has it been the same for you? What are you saying?
It depends. Like for Worlds, it's always special. Like you say, you have just a different mindset all week, and then different output in the weekend. And on the tracks that I've won, they're all really different. So I cannot say
Yeah, true.
they felt good, but I always prepared well for them, like a little bit better than just a World Cup season, which is more general. I prepare more specifically, you know, and
Hmm.
it has always been good. And I remember that year, and I qualified like second behind you,
Yeah,
and I felt good, and it was super hard. The day of the final, it was hard. I just struggled to find the pace, and first turn in my race run, I break my wheel. So you know, sometimes it just doesn't get together. So
yeah,
it's hard to have a perfect structure of it, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
still,
It is fun. It
really
is good how you've won. What was it? You won in Andorra, Cairns, Mont Saint
Lenzerheide.
Anne, and Lenzerheide. Yeah, very different. All different tracks. That's impressive.
Yeah, kind of bike park, then flat, a bit BMX style in Cairns and steep.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. But that
Win
run
your
for you in
first World
Champery,
Cup
I
in
remember.
Cairns.
What?
Did you win your first World Cup in Cairns as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, I did. I did, yeah, yeah. And yeah, that run in Champery, I was junior, and I remember seeing it like all the people who have seen that run, like what the fuck is happening? It was so crazy, and that must have changed your life, I think,
Yeah,
because
for
you came
sure.
from. How did it
Even
change your life?
well, I was, excuse me, second year elite, so I
Yeah,
think I'd have been 19.
yeah,
Just like my first year elite wasn't really that spectacular. I maybe had a couple of top 15s or top 20s, and then the next year it just seemed to click, and I had a really good season in general. Like I think I ended up fourth in the Championship and the World Cup overall. And I'd just had second leading into Champery in Val d'Isère. So I knew I was on pace and everything like that, but to win like that was, even to this day, I see the video online, and it changed my life in so many ways. I mean, I stayed with Giant for a few more years after that, and it was really good for them as well. And then it was hard racing after that, like after that off season of 2011 into 2012. Yeah, I lived quite a lavish lifestyle. I was getting travelled around. I was in Vegas and for Interbike, going to all these different bike shows. That took away from my preparation, I guess, for 2012. And I was a little bit behind the 8 ball in 2012, so it took a lot to come back, and I got injured in 2012, so I couldn't actually defend my title, which was going to be in Leogang, so it was always going to be tough. But
yeah,
it changed my life. Like, I bought my first house after that. Obviously, I came into a little bit more money and lived
crazy, huh?
Yeah,
This 4 minutes of your life can change everything.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, like that 3 minutes of my life helped your life as well in Snowshoe.
Yeah, true. And let's talk a bit about the mullet bike. We were one of the only ones at the start to have it, and now it seems like the trend has been pretty contagious, like the virus.
Yeah, everybody's gone there, haven't they?
What do you think about it?
So when did I start? In fact, I left Le Bresse in 2018 with a 29er, full 29er. I was going to Whistler, and I was like, 29er is what I'm gonna be racing next year. Deal with it.
Okay.
And I went away, and it was really good. And I was like, right, well, this is fine. I can do it. I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm riding fast, and yeah, it's perfect. And then it must have gotten to maybe February, March, and we were in Portugal testing, and we'd had the link made to try it. But to be honest, I was like happy with what I had with the 29er. But we had finished all our testing and we were done. So we were like, right, why don't you just try this just to have a go? We were in Ponte de Lima, and I was riding a track, and there was lots of corners, in and out of corners, and I was so surprised at how much better you could get in and out of the turns on the 27.5 rear wheel. So we timed it, and it wasn't much, but it was consistently just a little bit, and then that was me converted to the mullet setup.
And yeah, so for the last maybe 2-3 years, I've been seeing from outside that you were way more open to me, to some people, and you're more like chilling around. Like, do you feel that? Did you open yourself, or did you always have like a pressure to be someone racing mind and different than your actual self? Like, what's the deal?
It's such a funny one. This, like, I see, like, at the bottom when we've all finished racing, like, and everybody's hugging it out, and everybody's all this and all that, and I'm like I'm here to race. Like, yeah, I want to be friends, but it's like I come from like potentially like a motocross background where everybody hates one another, which I do think that is pretty far gone. I don't want it to be like that, but I do struggle sometimes when I see everybody hugging it out and getting
Really?
all. It's just like, we're racing here. Like, what's this all about? We're like, I know you think the same. I know you do. Like, you just want to beat everybody, and you.
Yeah. But that's something different. I want to beat you. I want to beat all of them. But at the end of the day, I still have the same lifestyle as them and the same interest. And we know each other, and then we know the struggle of hurting yourself, of
Yeah,
dealing with pressure, with money, with everything, and that's a bond that I like, you know.
yeah.
And when racing is done, like, oh, it's not a time for racing yet during the week, I like to hang out, just, you know, to make myself, my mind feel good. And I'm sure.
I guess what's difficult, like not difficult, but strange, like for me here, like I've always done it by myself. So I guess I'm a little bit of like a closed book. Like I don't have, there's nobody within 1 hour of here that rides downhill. I'm just like doing it by myself all the time. So I guess I'm a little bit different in that aspect, that I don't have, like you've had Loris, who's been like there with you for a lot of years, and you and him have a really good thing. Like for me, it's just been by myself, and I've just been sort of just doing it. And yeah, maybe I'm a bit of a closed book, but yeah, I think over the past couple of years that I have opened up a little more and I've chilled when it comes to that sort of thing. But yeah,
And
it's
someone like Quinn is a bit like that, no? You think? Do
yeah,
you?
he doesn't hang out with anybody, does he? He just does his own deal, and that's what works for him. Then
So how would you
yeah.
describe your relationship with other riders? What word would you put on it?
um,
Is it
how would I
genuine or is
describe
it
it?
controlled? Is it
No, it's
fake?
genuine. Yeah, no, it's not fake. No, not at all. Like that's what I pride myself. I'm not fake. Like I don't try and be something I'm not. Like I speak as I. If I'm speaking with you on here, or I'm speaking with my friends in the pub, this is just me as normal. Like I'm not. Like I'm not. Like for me here, like it's difficult. Like I watch the videos online and everything's rad and everybody's stoked and everything's sick and everything's like that's not what we're like up north here where I live. Everything, it's all.
I see what you mean though. No, no, no,
Yeah,
but don't get in deep sand because there's no deep sand because I know what you mean. Sometimes I have the feeling like some people are overplaying it because it's a
yeah.
thing and people like it. So it's a little bit. It can be a bit like I
At
can
the
be
end
like,
of the day, like I don't come across like all super excited about many things. Even when I win, like I never get like crazy. Like I don't like party massive. I don't like. I just love riding my bike, and that's it. That is the bottom line, and no one will ever take that away. Like
yeah.
that's
But from my point of view, you've been way nicer the last few years than the beginning.
yeah.
Because at the beginning, you were not almost not saying hello. You were like, but you're not easy
Yeah,
to talk to. It's like Gwen. Gwen is super cool, I think, if you seem like a nice guy, but it doesn't speak, so you don't know.
no,
And by not speaking, I think is not nice, but I think it is.
yeah, no. I'm open.
Oh, I know you're nice.
Like I think getting older as well, you realise that you've got to be more open with people. You can't. It's a small world, and
I just
everybody
feel like, yeah,
in it for the same
competitiveness
thing.
can be hard, but it has to be controlled because, for example, with Amory, we're good friends, but
Yeah,
then at the end of the year, it was hard because
yeah,
we were super against each other and racing, which is our lives. But we
yeah,
could still manage to put that aside sometime and just speak freely, you know.
yeah,
And I think it's
yeah.
good.
That's good. Yeah, that is good if you can be like that. But some people don't have that. They can't do that. But
Mm.
you must pride yourself on being able to do that, which is really good.
But actually, with Finn, Finn, you know him. He's super competitive and he's
Yeah,
really arrogant and stuff.
yeah,
And sometimes when he's too much like this, I don't like him. You know, I'm
no,
like, come on, dude, I don't like you when you like. And he's just for him, he loves it. But it's really healthy because he assumes it and stuff. So it's really hard to
yeah.
it's a
Like I
topic.
have a really good thing with my teammate Matt Walker. Like we train together once a week in our training block, and we have a good thing going. But I can always tell that he's just knocking at the door, and he's not knocking at the door. He's there now. Like he's a fast guy, and we are like. There's often a little bit of not tension, but it's like I think what you and Finn have is it's really open. Like he'll say, "Look, I just want to beat you. Like I don't care what you say. Like I just want to beat you." We don't have that. Like, but I know deep down that I'm not stupid. That's what everybody wants to beat one another. So yeah, it's a difficult. The teammate like dynamic is a really hard one to balance when you've got two fast guys. It's not an easy scenario.
True. It isn't. So last question before you can go back and chill. I want to know what is no. I want to know what Danny Hart has for inspirations and who are his idols and stuff. Because you're a closed book, like you said, so I want to know that just before we go.
What are my inspirations? Like growing up, I think being a kid from the UK, especially from the north, up north as well, like I always looked up to Steve Peat. Like he's a massive name in the world of mountain biking, never mind just in the UK. So he was always someone I did look up to. But like moving forward, getting older and stuff like that, it's a difficult question, to be fair, because I don't really look up to anyone so much anymore. Like I think I enjoy, like I spend a lot of time on YouTube, so I'm always watching boxing and stuff like that. That's it's free this week, isn't it? Pornhub Premium.
I know. I just subscribed yesterday. I know it.
I bet you did.
So yeah, but I know there is, when you're a kid, you look up to people like in your sports and stuff. But then when you grow up, like you say, you watch YouTube and then you just find little inspirations from some people. No.
Yeah, like I was reading Tyson Fury's book. He's a boxer, heavyweight champion of the world boxer, and
the Gypsy King, no?
That's him. Yeah, he's been through some stuff, and yeah, I don't really know. It's hard to. It's a hard one. What's your inspiration? Who's your inspiration, or
It depends on the field, but like training wise, I would say that I look a lot of things on like BMX riders.
Yeah.
The ones that my trainer is coaching and stuff. Yeah. So I try to get inspired by that. And like person wise, I like someone like Barrel. Despite what some people like Steve Pitt, like they had tensions back in the day. So of course, everyone has good sides and stuff. And Fabien is someone super smart and genuine and assuming his choices, I think.
Yeah.
Even though it can be not disliked by some other riders who used to race him. It's business-wise too. My team manager, Laurent, you had him as a team manager too, and he's super smart, super caring. Just little thing that makes me as a boyfriend or as a I don't know, some other things a little bit more mature and stuff. So it's a little bit everywhere that I try to pick. There's not one guy. I don't really, even Gwyn, back in the day, Gwyn, I was like, fuck, that looks good. And then I tried to get trained by John Tomac just because Gwyn did it and it was kind of a dream.
Yeah.
Didn't work because it was so far and it was so expensive and blah, blah, blah. But I did it, so I was happy.
Yeah, I guess Lauren has done very well, like the team that he's made from humble beginnings when he first started. Like with Ben, I don't know if it's when he first started, but like with Ben Cathro back in the day to now, like it's a polar opposite organization he's running, and it's really cool. And I guess like when you think of inspiration and stuff like that, like my team manager has been Will Longdon, has been there through all of downhill racing really, and he's very knowledgeable and he helps me out a lot, and I listen to him, and it's a difficult question. I'm trying to sort of create my own path as well. And you need to try and take things, like you say, from Fabian, from Laurent, from Thomas, from Gwyn, and make your own.
Yeah.
Your own
Or you
way,
can
don't
also,
you?
actually, now that you speak like that, you can also think about who you want to be and get inspired by this future self, and then
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I think like me winning the World Championships like I did in 2011 has been a massive help. But I do think I've created quite a good fan following, and I don't, and yeah, through this time, this hard time, was really pushing our social media, and I've had, it's been really good. Like speaking, I'm not very good at speaking on to the camera. Like I hate speaking into my phone, like for Instagram and stuff like that. But
You've done it lately, though.
I have been doing it lately, and it's been going down quite well. So it's something I would like to move forward in trying to do more of that.
Good. Okay. Well, thank you, Danny. I had a really good time. I'm happy I talked with you.
Thank you.
And
It's been a
yeah,
pleasure.
the feeling I have with you is good, and I'm happy you opened up to the other riders, even though we race hard on track.
Yeah.
And I hope we get started at one point this year.
Yeah. When do you think
Yeah.
it'll be?
I had a feeling it was going to be Andorra, but then now I would say Mont Saint-Anne, and I hope it will be Mont Saint-Anne in
Yeah.
August. So it's pretty far.
It's a long time.
It's pretty much it's off season now. We can chill a bit before we can actually prepare. So it's weird.
The
But
funny thing is, we don't know though, do we? They could
yeah,
say to us next week, right, get yourself to wherever, and you can't be caught off guard. So
yeah,
it's,
yeah. We just and it's blurry. It's fucked. But let's try to stay positive, and yeah, it's hard too, but we will be able to make it, man. Just stay alive. Let's stay alive.
that's it.
And all right, thank you, Danny. Have a good
Cheers, Loic.
afternoon.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
I'll catch you later.
Ciao, ciao.